Yeah, dude, Limp Bizkit.
Dude, that's dope. Play that fucking track. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to If You Ask Me. I am the host of the episode, Trace Patchen. Next to me, we got Scott Icebox Nemi and DZ Gumbert. We are going to be talking about one of the biggest hits of 2015, and that is Star Wars The Force Awakens.
That Steelbook.
Star Wars Episode 7.
That's pretty dope.
Pretty
dope
dope
from Best Buy?
Yeah, Best Buy exclusive.
That is really cool, actually.
I got the Target one. I got the Target one. It pulled out into a bunch of posters and shit. It's pretty sick.
Oh shit! I just gave away the code.
Dude,
I'm just kidding. We already gave it away. Joke's on you.
Yeah, that's right. Anyways, this is the 7th installment in the Star Wars series. It is the first sequel to the original series, the original trilogy, and it is just a fun movie. Well, let's just jump right into it. What is everybody's kind of opinion on the movie? The plot we'll start with. How about that?
It's serviceable, and this is one of the biggest aspects of this movie that I have an issue with is the plot. But then again, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can kind of nitpick about plots of any of the Star Wars movies,
right?
But I just felt like it was playing too close to A New Hope, and that was my biggest issue with it.
I'll say that there are a lot of similarities to New Hope. That is totally you can't get by that. But I don't think that it hindered anything in this movie because we got a plethora of new characters, we got new storylines moving forward. I don't think moving to the next movie that there's going to be really anything that they can take off. I mean, unless they do, but I don't really think that there's anything they can take out of the original ones to make it too structured around it. But I think for this movie, I think it was a necessary thing to do because you got to bring in the old, you got to bring in the new. So I thought it was an appropriate move.
I agree, but I don't think it took too much from A New Hope because I mean, structurally, so did Jedi or Return of the Jedi. I mean, it took a lot of the same stuff from A New Hope that The Force Awakens did, and not a lot of people complain about that. So I think it's a moot point, not mute point. Good God.
You mean moot?
Yeah.
Point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh shit! That's Lord of the Rings. My bad.
Wrong trilogy.
Yeah, I thought this was a really, 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 really good movie. I liked all the characters. I liked the story.
Well, I mean,
one second, because it's not a moot point when you have basically another Death Star, which would make the third time you have a Death Star.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have basically everything that happens with blowing up the old Death Star.
Right.
It's just that to me is just Star Killer Base. Seriously, will they a 3-year-old name that?
There's a reason Star Killer was the original name for Luke Skywalker, and he thought that it was too aggressive, so he changed it to Skywalker instead of Star Killer.
Well, that's a good move on Lucas's part, but still, base.
It was all J.J. Abrams, but
yeah.
No, well, Lucas.
Oh, Lucas originally, but the fact that he named it Star
don't
Killer.
fuck with my shit, man.
I was just saying,
don't you?
This is all because of J.J. Abrams.
No, I get it, and I like it, but I just that.
I get it, and
it just plays. You know what I'm saying?
It's get where you're coming from, but I feel like at that point in the movie, if it doesn't already, I don't know, if it doesn't already have you, I don't know. That was what it was for me. I get it. I was thinking, all right, another Death Star, but you got to think of the fact in the timeline. This is 25, 30 years later, so it's plausible that they have another Death Star. I mean, think about how destructive the Death Stars were when they actually got to use them. Literally planet destroying, and as it shows in this movie, this one is that on steroids. It can kill 4 or 5 planets in one swipe.
I know, but am I? And you might be able to correct me if I'm mistaken, but they're not technically a force. They're not like the Empire.
No, they're the remnants of the Empire, essentially.
Right. So there are people out there, and they're not controlling planets or anything. So why do they have to stick to what didn't work for the old Empire before? Why do they go basically the same way? And with the stormtroopers,
to some extent, the stormtroopers thing didn't work. I don't know why they stuck with that. They're not doing clones anymore.
Yeah, it's not clones anymore.
Right, which is a worse idea, dude. Just clone the damn thing.
Because you get fins if you don't.
Yeah, and they mentioned the clones, which I think is good because I was never really truly sure if they were clones in the original series or the original trilogy.
Well, in the 14th remake, they made them clones. They've changed their. No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Check out Clone Wars, though. That is a great show.
Yes, it was.
I forget what I was saying now.
Something about the clones and stuff.
Yeah,
you were talking about. You were defending the Death Star and why they would go back to it.
Because like you said, it worked, and they had control for a really long time. And with the Death Star, they did a lot of stuff. They controlled the entire galaxy. It wasn't until they blew up 2 of them that they finally lost control, and they had to kill the Emperor and Vader.
They blow up 1 planet.
Yeah.
Because
then it gets blown up right after, but it was on the verge of blowing up another one, and Rogue One, you'll
find out. Yeah. Anyways,
no way, dude. So if we're going back to A New Hope,
yeah,
they only show Alderaan.
Yeah, I know, but that from them telling Leia that you either give us the plans, or we're going to destroy your planet. From that moment to when they actually destroy the Death Star, that's like a seriously long gap.
It's a decent amount of time.
Well, yeah. So why the fuck didn't they just start blowing up more planets?
Because they were strategically blowing up planets. They were blowing up planets that actually they needed to blow up. The rebel planets.
Yeah, Alderaan.
Yeah, that's where, but they only went. They were only gonna go blow up that second one, and then wasn't that?
Yeah, the second one was where all the rebel leaders were.
Yeah,
so they were about to blow that up, and that's when they blew up.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Why didn't they just start blowing up more planets and be like, Leia, give it up?
Yeah.
It's because she was gone by that point.
Well, I'm just trying. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to add into
it's a
because
process.
It doesn't work. Because what happened at the end of
Force Awakens?
It takes them another 45 minutes, which is supposed to take place.
15.
Yeah, and
movie time.
Yeah, movie time. Yeah. But no, I get it. It's a plot device. It's a plot element, and I get it. But I think it serves just enough. The Death Star is the embodiment of the greatest power that the Empire has, save for the Sith, which they don't necessarily have. At least, or the Rebels know anymore. So. And, the nice thing about this is that the roles are reversed, because the Rebels are now kind of on top, and the Empire, or the remnants of the Empire, the First Order, are almost the rebels now, because they're rebelling back to come back to the full power of the Empire. And I feel like that's been happening. Obviously, you see that it's been happening. They're still fighting for the last 25 years. So, it wasn't at the end of Return of the Jedi. It wasn't ooh, we won. We're actually, it's just kind of like the tides have turned. They're finally on top, and the war continues. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
Well, I understand. Okay, so history repeats itself, right? I get that, and I understand
it's definitely like a World War I, World War II kind of scenario. Like the World War I would have been the original trilogy, and now this new trilogy is kind of like World War II.
Yeah, I get it. I think it's so awesome when they show the skeletons of all those Star Destroyers and everything like that.
Yeah.
That shit's sweet, dude. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying they followed suit to what happened in the first one. Okay, they have a planet. They showcase the Star Killer base.
Yep.
They show what it can do, and then they don't light it up until the end again. And by that time, it's too late. It blows up. Yeah. So that to me is kind of a cop out, and this is where my issue with everyone who says this is the greatest movie of 2015, the best movie of 2015. And I'm sitting here saying but how? It literally ripped off what A New Hope did. It's why don't you have it to where you can do whatever you want because you have these characters that will believe anything. I buy Kylo Ren being a whiny teenager, and I don't think he's like that. I think he's got a lot more depth than people give him credit for. But I'm saying why not do something more creative? And I get it, what the prequels did to the whole story is. You got to kind of dig your way out of that because you don't want another trilogy like that coming out.
Right, and I think, and you might call it playing safe, but I think that it was the smartest move to do because you think of how big, in retrospect, this movie is and was supposed to be. You know what I mean? This is a huge task for them to make a sequel to arguably the biggest trilogy of all time. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Probably the biggest franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, they're still selling toys. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, like, it is a hard area to be in to say, all right, let's give something that is completely alien and foreign to them, save for the 3 or 4 characters that are surviving from the last series, or give them something that's a little bit reminiscent of what they had, while still reintroducing awesome new characters and stuff to look forward to with the 2 following movies. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was, yes, and I see all your points, and I totally agree, but I thought it was just a safe, smart move because it still worked in the confines of what they gave us.
Right. It pleased the audience.
Yes.
I will definitely give you that. I'm just saying, when we go to our grading, it's gonna reflect how I feel about because Abrams is a very creative guy. Like I think he could have done a lot more with that.
Okay.
Let's just blame the studio and go on to the next part.
No, well, I mean,
I think it's JJ's fault because that's what he did with Star Trek. Is he
made it a Star Wars movie?
No, he odes. Well, he did, yeah. But he odes to like the original series, and like he put Spock, the old Spock, back into his movie. Like he's like beating you over the head with like this is like a new thing, and we're different, but we're the same at the same time.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's a J.J. Abrams thing.
All right. Well, that was
also
pretty much the entirety of the previous podcast.
Well, there goes the kids.
Yeah. I didn't say it until you said it. Anyways.
No. I'm saying like the time.
The time. Okay. Yeah.
So we've eclipsed the kids one. And probably Kubo too.
Yeah. But anyways, let's move on to, as we already started talking about, the characters. I think some of the strongest parts, reintroduction of old and some new ones. So let's start with you, Scott. What do you think of some characters here?
I absolutely adored the characters. The one that I will not back as much because I want to see more of is Poe.
Okay.
I didn't think that he was all that great. Like I thought he was funny and stuff like that. But I thought Finn and Rey was my favorite character out of everybody. And then I was never a Han Solo fan, but I mean, you know what I mean? I liked Han, but I was so into like Yoda and Vader and Luke that he just kind of, he was just there.
Pushed aside. For
sure. I mean, I even like Chewbacca more than Han Solo.
Okay.
But I think having them back, and I don't think they missed a beat. At least Han, Han
Harrison.
Solo. Yeah, Harrison. No, not Harrison. Richard Gere.
So good.
Go check out that top 10, by the way.
Yep.
What was it?
I don't remember.
No, it's
Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, Zemeckis films. Top 10. Go check it out. Anyways, I adored all of the characters really, and Kylo Ren too.
Yes.
And Captain Phasma wasn't in it a lot, but man, is she a badass character. Like, just looking at her on the back of this steelbook, like, if I were a kid, man.
Her look was dope.
Yeah.
I think
the execution wasn't the greatest.
Yeah. But no, I don't think. I think she's going to play a bigger part in the other ones.
If she's still alive.
Oh, she is. I think she is.
To be alive.
Yeah, dude. There's no way.
So, but I mean,
you never know.
Kill that
but like, okay,
they didn't explain it either.
That's the greatest thing about Star Wars,
but
though.
Her mentality, too, like the way she talks to Finn, like you can tell it's her own personality. Like it's great. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine. I think that's the greatest thing about Star Wars is that you get characters that look just awesome, great marketing, things, and they don't do a whole lot with them in the context of the movies, a la Boba Fett.
Or Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, even, yeah, I
Mon
guess.
Mothma, too.
Yeah, Mon Mothma. But you...
That was kind of a joke. I mean, my brother did once get a Mon Mothma action figure.
Yeah. Just in her little white...
You're like, what are you going to do with Mon Mothma?
Hey, she makes a return in Rogue One, so why not? But, but I think that's the greatest thing is that there's going to be more from this character, no matter what. Even if not in the movies, there's going to be comic books or books written about this character that you can dive into. So I mean, there's ways around that. You like the characters for the most part.
Oh yeah, I love the characters.
Characters were great. I know if you go back to one of our previous videos, I shit on Kylo Ren a little bit, but I've rethought it, and I think it's an appropriate. His reactions are appropriate. His character is appropriate for what's going on in his life and inside him. I mean, he's literally being pulled, like, family wise, he's getting pulled to the light side, but like he's
rebelling. Like he wants. He's
torn,
the inverse of Luke.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Where Luke was like almost destined to become dark, and then
and that's
light.
And that's another thing that's really interesting. I got kind of crazy after seeing this movie, and I went and tried looking at every crazy idea of what the plans are that people think of moving forward. And one I liked is that this is a reverse. Why it's so similar to New Hope is that it's a reverse of everything. I mean, you're taking similar elements, but reversing it. Now Kylo is like a opposite Luke. And stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. And yeah, Kylo is probably my favorite character in the movie. Just because
when he has his mask on, he is fucking awesome.
Well, like, yeah, but okay, so you get this look at him, and you the first couple minutes of the movie, first half an hour probably of the movie, he doesn't take his mask off, so he's just imposing, and he is just this
and
figure.
That voice too is so great.
I mean, he does things.
And then when you realize it's Adam Driver.
Well, he does things that we haven't seen even Sith Lords do, like holding that blaster still the whole time.
That was
really
sick.
So he's got all this power built up inside of him, and then he takes his mask off, and you can just even on his face, you can see his vulnerabilities, and his insecurities are just there, and you're like, wow, so he's not the prototypical Sith Lord we've seen in almost every other movie.
He's not Darth Vader as much as he tries to be.
He's not Darth Vader. He's not the Emperor. He's not anything we've ever seen before. He is very different, and he's very conflicted. And I thought it was just really great. It really surprised me. It really brought me in, and then obviously the biggest part of the movie when he does something that's really upsetting.
But even just look at his lightsaber, like how it's all over the place. It's not straight.
That's the point of it.
It's jutting out in different. It's like
I've always said that reflects almost like the inside of his.
It's completely it's completely intentional. That's the thing. He's not. I mean, it's multiple ways. It's reminiscent of him as a person and him as a character, and it's also reminiscent of him as a Sith Lord or whatever he is. Nobody really specifies if he's a Sith yet, or well, we know that he's training to be something.
He's an apprentice of some sort.
But I mean, you could see that he's not, and that brings to everybody kind of complaining of how Rey can best him at the end of the movie is because he's not that imposing figure you see in the beginning of the movie. It's really not him yet. That's what he's getting to.
That, and he got shot by a blaster in the gut.
A blaster that literally sent a stormtrooper flying across the street.
Why don't people put this shit together?
He's injured from that. He got hit at least once when he was fighting
Finn, right? Yep. So I mean,
I think the only part that really bothers me about that end part is, and I've said it 100 times, and it still bothers me today, is him staring at her when she's feeling the Force come to her, she's diving into the Force, and he just stares at her when they're they're both their lightsabers together. He just kind of looks at her what's going on? Just punch her in the face, dude. You're trying to win a fight.
Well, that's not the
Knee
way.
in the gut.
I know we're going a little kind of crazy, but I just want to mention it while it's out there. That's another thing I really enjoyed is the feeling that you get of the Force, used by obviously the audio that they use, the sound that they use. Especially when he first interrogates her, it's a completely dialogue less scene, but you feel and you know what the struggle and the fight's going on just by the audio and the emotions.
Faces on
I completely and utterly enjoyed the ending of that movie because of the fact that you have Kylo Ren, who has to be sort of battered after what happened, right?
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, he kills his dad.
You're the only person who
Han Solo.
Yeah. So he kills Han Solo, his dad, in a gorgeous shot that turns rad. And, you knew it was going to happen. And then you have a great response by Chewbacca, which he shoots him. And then you have that fight, then Finn just gets freaking torn apart. And then you have...
Not literally.
He
almost
gets fudged up, man.
Back, he gets cut in the back.
He gets jacked.
And then you have Rey, who this whole movie, even the title, The Force Awakens, and you have this almost this new chosen one, who is just so raw talent that I couldn't imagine it ending any other way. Like her struggling would be, now obviously there's going to be growing pains. I feel like because with all that power, you're gonna get tempted to do different things and everything like that. But
I mean, the same way Luke was in the original series.
Yeah, and you have these two characters that are going the completely opposite directions. Kylo Ren looks like he's hitting rock bottom, and then Rey is finally realizing that she has the Force and that lightsaber is calling to her and everything like that.
Really exciting for the next movie when that pendulum fucking shifts.
I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I think that's the greatest thing that this movie did is, look at it, we're just talking, I mean, I've been talking about this movie with people since it came out about what the possibilities are moving forward, and I haven't done that with a movie in so long. I know they're doing a lot of, obviously I'm a big superhero movie fan, but I haven't talked this extensively about a movie in four, as long as I've been talking about them. So I think that's a testament to how well they structured everything and they presented it.
Who is Rey? Who do you think?
Yeah, that's the. Oh man,
we've had arguments about this.
I can't even properly. I mean, just the other day, one of my friends was like, "I think Rey's a clone," and
that's dumb as shit.
Okay, it's dumb as shit, but you never know. You know what I mean?
I do know, and I would bet my life savings that it's not a fucking clone.
Right,
dude.
Right.
She's somehow tied to Luke, and
has to be.
I mean that's really where it's pointing to. You know what I mean?
She has that fighter helmet, and supposedly there's some doll that she has in that.
Yeah.
That that AT-AT that's down or whatever.
Her little house.
Yeah, and I think it's and that and Luke's original lightsaber was calling to her. I don't know if it's daughter father kind of thing.
It has to be something.
But it's got to be close to that because of the fact that her parents have just left one day, right?
Yeah, or her parents left her on
but
Jakku.
Dude, how badass would that be if because then that would make her and Kylo Ren cousins.
Yep.
But wouldn't that be sweet because she hit it off so well with Han Solo that that was his daughter?
Yeah.
And then
it just feels like they would know. Everyone would know. Because no one says anything. Han doesn't say anything. Leia doesn't say anything.
But I mean, but it
Chewbacca
also
didn't say shit.
Yeah, right. Chewbacca
not that anyone would understand.
But I don't know. I think that's an interesting theory too, because based off, and I know the comics or the books after this point were supposed to be cut out, and they're not taking footage. But they definitely made a Sith Lord or a Sith. Hans and Leia's kid, which happens in the books afterwards, and they're definitely
doing
have
that
twins,
just so they can.
Right.
Oh, dude, if I had to sit here and solidify what it is, I think there's two of them that I point to, and first of all, I think it's Luke's daughter.
Yep.
Yes.
That's my first choice. Second choice, Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
I fucking hate that choice.
I think it's
you like that one?
I think it's right on because of. They're gonna do a movie with just Obi-Wan.
That's what there's a lot of. It's not 100% yet, but there's a lot of.
And if you because the Clone Wars is canon, and you have his character in the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan.
Yep.
He does have a love interest in that show, so I think it's right on with that, and I think that would be just insanely.
And
cool.
They've taken from the Clone Wars already. I mean, there's a character in Rogue One who is directly taken from the animated series. So,
yeah. I just hope. I mean, well, now that we talked about animated series, I just gotta say, dude, I hope Ahsoka Tano shows up sometime because she's one of my all-time favorites, and
she's
Cad Bane
in Rebels.
Yeah, she is in Rebels. Well, and where we left off was that she got killed by Vader.
She bit the dust, right?
Well, so they think. I don't think she's really dead. I don't think she's really dead. Yeah, they didn't show her actually getting killed, but they fought, and then her and Vader fought. But then Cad Bane, who's a bounty hunter, so cool.
Cad Bane is pretty sweet.
Anyways,
what else we got to talk about? I mean, overall aesthetics, direction. The fact that they used a lot of props and realistic. What is the word? Special effects. Practical. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We just need Taylor in here.
Yeah, right.
He's got that down.
Practical effects, which is, I mean, as much as Taylor loves it, I love them too. I think, especially in the realm of Star Wars, that's how it started out. Everything was pretty much practical and very minimum actual computer-generated images created. So I thought that the fact that they used that mostly here, I mean, they did do a blend, but still, a lot of it in here, which is great.
I think
brought us into the world.
You know, minus the similarities to, you know, my issues with the similarities to A New Hope, I think the story is great. I actually liked it better and better the more I watched it. The first time I watched it was good, and then I actually went to the theater like a few days later and watched it again, so I was like, I knew what was going to happen, but watching it on home video and then even having it sit right here, I almost want to watch it again.
Oh, absolutely. Just talking about it, I want to watch
it. My love for the character of Rey is just, like, I think we did a top 10 Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
So you got to go check that out. It's a little longer, but it's pretty sweet. And that was, I think she was on there, or, you know, whatever.
She was up there for you.
But, man, just the comedy and the way it hits in the movie, I think is just it's done so well. And,
it really is.
You know, the battle sequences with, you know, the TIE fighters and the Millennium Falcon and all that stuff, I think is just awesome. And, except for R2 just turning on last second.
Yeah,
that was a bit weird.
He was emotionally distraught, guys. Come on.
And then just randomly just like, I'm black. And I have all the answers you've been looking for.
Yeah.
Black faces.
So, can I ask one question?
Yes, you may.
No.
Did you want Luke in there more than you got him?
I was fine with it.
I think it was perfectly.
I think him being in it in general was good.
Well, like the ending is just so odd.
It is a little weird, but I like it.
It goes on a little too long.
Keep going. I'm just gonna do this the rest of the time.
And you just look really upset.
Again.
This girl. How?
I don't know. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. Yeah. Okay.
I wanted more of the back, like that flashback when they got with him and R2, and then like the Ren.
The Knights of Ren. Oh man,
dude, I wanted more.
That just makes us excited for the next movie.
I know, but when is that gonna come out?
Next year. Next year.
Probably December. Christ,
yeah.
we're looking at a whole year.
Dude, It's been
a bad year for movies for me, man. I have not been happy.
I liked this year. It's been a pretty good year.
I think it's starting to ramp up now, but summer was garbage.
Yeah.
It was a lot of letdowns. But anyways, we're talking about Star Wars. And any other comments before we grade? I mean, you guys want to talk about things? I don't know what I
pretty much hit everything I feel like I want to talk except for Chewie getting screwed again.
No hug at the end?
No hug at the end. He doesn't get the award, and then he doesn't get a freaking hug. Like, what is this?
Well, he's a fucking nerve herder or something.
Anti-Semite.
Yeah. So good. All right, cool. Well, then let's start to grades. I'm going to start with you, Damon. What do you think?
You can start with me if you want.
You want to start?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay, well then Scott, go ahead.
I've been teetering B+, and you know, I've kind of come around. These guys talked me into it, so let's go B+.
Hey.
Well, I'm extremely biased because Star Wars runs in my blood, but
that's not true.
It does, dude. Cut me open. You'll see it.
You'll
hear John Williams original.
Oh yeah, love the new score.
Yeah.
I heard it on Pandora the other day, and I was like, "What is this? I love this!" And it had a lot of like Jurassic Park in it. I felt like.
Yeah.
But I really did enjoy the new score as well.
It was. Obviously, you get the big songs from the originals, but he did tweak some of them.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, you just can't go wrong with John Williams scoring.
Yeah.
But
check out top 10 film score.
Oh yeah, do that. Anyways, I'm gonna stick to my guns and say this was my favorite movie of last year. So I'm gonna give it an A+.
Oh wow!
Very nice, very nice. I'm gonna give it an A, not an A+, just an A.
That's fine.
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Just liked it.
We beat that.
It's a really good movie. I mean. It is what it is.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for watching.
Oh, I got something.
What?
Why the fuck wasn't this nominated for Best Movie?
Because it's...
Because it ripped off from the other one.
Shut up. No, it didn't.
The other one was just the first two. How
many movies did they did? They did like 8 movies. They couldn't have just like fucking shoehorned this in anyway.
Right.
Like, and there was a movie that was absolute garbage. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, you're right. It was garbage.
Well, Fury Road?
Ooh.
What one? No, not Fury Road. That wasn't garbage. That was a good movie.
Spotlight.
What?
He's just fucking with me now.
You're naming good movies. I
Fucking
like
with the
these.
cell phones.
All right, so please like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube. What else? What else do we have? We have Twitter,
Facebook.
Facebook.
Facebook's The Real Frame of Mind. YouTube is just Real Frame of Mind.
And I think Twitter is the Real Frame of Mind.
Stop.
E-E-L.
Yeah, so, and thanks for watching. Please watch more of our other videos.
Subscribe and don't unsubscribe.
And comment for any other videos you want to see us do. We'd like to hear from you guys. So
you like Wedding Singer? You like War Wagon? Sure, we'll watch it. Wild Wild West? You got it. Die Hard 2? We'll do it. Do the Right Thing? You got it. 21 Days Later? Sure, why not?
Gladiator.
American Pie.
American Pie, yeah.
Anything you want.
The Alamo?
Yeah.
New or old?
Yeah, as long as it's not pornography, we will watch it.
Milo and Otis.
Milo and Otis, sorry. My bad. I couldn't read
Do
that.
it.
What women want? Do it. Do it.
Once upon a time.